afternoon, pizzaronis. I'm here getting ready to make Jessica's favorite Gulab Jamun, or Gulab Jamun, or however I'm going to say it multiple times today. So I have my ingredients set up over here, and I'm going to go ahead and follow Jessica's recipe step by step and see if I can't make these delicious milk balls or Indian donuts, as she says they are called in her fun fact here at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and start. First, I have to make the syrup to put on these delicious Indian donuts. So I will be taking you step by step through the syrup. All right, so to make the syrup, it says I got to get a little pot here. I got a little small one. I'm going to take a cup and a half of sugar, and it's going to be a sugar syrup. And this is a half cup, so I'm going to have to get 2 of these. My sugar is over here. One. And 2. And now to add to that sugar, I need to get 1.5 cups water. So I'm going to use that same half cup so I don't dirty a whole bunch of dishes. And now I'm going to need 3 of these. 1. I'm going to bring this pot over here so I don't spill. 2. And 3. We'll go ahead and put that on the stove. It also says I need, where did I put that? To bring this to a boil with a little bit of lemon juice. So I have cut up a lemon. I did that off screen. And I'm going to add just a little bit of it to my pot. And now I'm going to bring this to a boil, is what Jessica says. And this is going to take about 10 minutes. So I'm going to bring it to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my oven, stove to a boil on high. And we'll go ahead and get that going. All right, so as the syrup is going and getting all gooey, I'm gonna go ahead and start to make the actual donut ball things. So what I need to start with is a 1/2 cup of dry milk. This replaces the Koya, so it's basically the same thing. Koya, I guess, is like a Indian type of milk thing that I could not find in the store. So this is the next best thing. I found a recipe online that said I could use this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a 1/2 cup of this, and I'm gonna add it to my bowl. It's kind of stinky. And then to add to that 1/2 cup of dried milk, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of regular flour. And then to that, let me check this out here. 1/8 teaspoon, 1/8 teaspoon of baking powder. Just a little guy. A squeeze of lemon again. Back to the tablespoon of oil. I'm gonna stir my syrup real quick. Starting to get a little thicker. And now I need to, let's see what it says here. Make it into a dough. Now I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of milk to the batter, I guess we could call it, to make it start to turn into a dough. Now that I have made the dough, I'm getting ready to be able to fry the dough, so I'm going to add some frying oil to the pot over here. Enough so that I think that the little dough balls are going to be submerged or underneath of the level. Alright, so then I'm going to turn that on to about a medium-high heat so that it starts to get warm and hot, and then I can, while I'm doing that, I will make my dough into the little balls. All right, so I have a cookie sheet, like Jessica says, after next. I got the syrup still going. I got my oil heating up. I've oiled my hands so that the dough doesn't stick to my hands. And now I'm gonna get my dough right here. And I'm going to just tear off a little chunk of it. And I'm going to kind of roll it into a small little donut hole, if you will. So I'm just trying to make it, Jessica says in one of her tips, make sure you don't have any cracks. So I'm trying my hardest not to get any cracks. But once again, I've never made this dish, guys. Give me a break. All right, that looks pretty good to me. I don't really know though. I'm gonna take another chunk off here. Looks like I'm gonna be able to make about 4, which should be perfect because if I mess it up, then I don't have to eat too many of them. Trying to make them all the same size, that's something I've learned as I've been making and baking things. When you have things all the same size, they cook the same time. Otherwise, if you have some things too big or too small, they cook at different times. Alright, there's 2. I think I'm just going to take this last little part of the dough and just divide it into 2 even parts here. And hopefully, I can scrape some of the remainders. Hopefully, these will be able to fry up nice and I won't mess up Jessica's recipe too bad. This one's cracking a little bit, Jess. I'm sorry. I still have 4 hours to go is what the recipe tells me on my 5-hour thing. I think I've been cooking for about 30 minutes so far, so I still have a little ways to go because these have to rest in the syrup that's cooking on the stove. Speaking of that, I need to stir that here in a minute. All right, so guys, here are my dough balls that I have made. Choo, choo. Look pretty all right. That one's got a little crack. That's all right. I think we're going to be perfect. As you can see, the bowl I mixed everything in is empty. I got a little bit of mess I got to clean up here. The sugar is taking a little bit longer than I expected, but it's still boiling. It's thickening up. And right here I have the pot of oil getting ready to go. I have it on medium-high. I might turn it up just a little bit to give it a little bit more. Now, this stuff right here, don't ever try to use without a parent. It can get hot. It pops. It's kind of like if you were to deep fry chicken wings or something, or onion rings or something. It fries things. So it's frying oil can get very hot, but I'm getting ready for it to start to sizzle a little bit, and I'll be able to keep things going. My oil is at temperature, getting ready to go, so I'm going to take my dough balls and I'm going to drop them in the oil. I have a little stirrer here that I'm going to use to kind of manipulate them and move them around. If you can kind of see, they're starting to turn a little brown. While they're doing this, I'm going to run and grab the tips. Caramel brown is what I'm looking for. All right, so as you can see, they're starting to get really nice and golden brown. I think we're getting ready to pull them out here. I'm trying to stir them around as best as possible. I've gone ahead and gotten a plate ready with a paper towel to be able to soak up all that excess grease and stuff. My sugar's sitting over there. Getting ready to take a little quick stir, see if it's starting to thicken up a little bit. I'm gonna give these about 15 more seconds. I have a plate over here. They're looking real delicious, Jessica. I'll be able to tell you here shortly. These two look pretty good. I'm gonna shake off the extra grease, put them on my napkin. All right, so earlier I took off the sugar from the heat, and now it's just been kind of sitting there. I'm heating it back up as the directions tell me, and now I have to let my donut hole ball things here that have dripped off all the excess grease, I'm gonna put them back into the syrup, and here is where that long period of time comes. I'm looking at Jess's. Jessica says to let them soak in the syrup for 4 hours. The recipe that I found online said 2, so I'm going to let them go for 3. I'm going to follow neither advice, and I'm going to go right in the middle. So in 3 hours, I will see you guys again, and we'll take the little guys out of the syrup and give them a little taste test. All right, we have come to the conclusion of the Gulab Jamun. It is now almost 5 o'clock, if you can tell by the lighting in the kitchen. It is almost got dark outside, so we started when it was nice and bright, and we are now here at the taste test of the Gulab Jamun. Here they are. I went ahead and followed the tip of the recipe online that was helping me out, and I put a little powdered sugar because they haven't soaked in enough sugar already. So we are now here at the taste test of Jessica's recipe for the Gulab Jamun. I'm going to take one of the little guys right here, little donuts, cut into it. It is soaked in sugar, so it has to be delicious. Tastes like a donut. Very sweet, but it tastes like a donut. Let me get another little bite here. I'll have to say, if you have a sweet tooth, you might like these. Way to go, Jessica. Good job with the recipes. Thanks for watching Pizzaronis. You have been cooking with Chef Corry.